everyone. My name is Sharan Siraj and I'm currently working as an intern in Nexus and Company. So today's topic is police brutality in India. By definition, police brutality is the excessive and unwanted use of force by the law enforcement. Protests against police brutality are happening across the US. People are speaking out against years of oppression and mistreatment by the authorities on the basis of caste, creed, and race. Police brutality, however, is not unique to USA. It appears in other forms and in other countries where it is not getting the same public attention or media coverage as it should be getting. Police personnel in India usually subscribe to two kinds of violations. The first is corruption against individuals or institutions, which usually targets the income or livelihood of the victim. Traffic police extort money from drivers on a daily basis. Vendors are forced to pay weekly payments, also known as haftas in our colloquial terms, or suffer extortion at the hands of policemen at frequent intervals simply to operate their business. The second category of criminal conduct practiced by the police is that of physical coercion against suspects of crime or agitators. This misconduct is usually targeted at lower income groups. These groups are regularly subject to harsh physical treatment, and even the innocent run the risk of having false case registered against them. All custodial deaths are largely those of poor or lower class people. Now, police officers are legally permitted to use force. Jerome Herbert writes in regard to dealing largely with disorderly elements of the society. Some people working in the law enforcement may gradually develop an attitude or sense of authority over society. Particularly under the traditional reaction-based policing model, in some cases, the police believe that they are above the law. According to Raghuraj Singh Chauhan, a senior officer, the police in India are under tremendous pressure as people need quick results. So, they have to pick up the pace and interrogate a lot of people. Sometimes things do get out of control. After all, confessions cannot be extracted out of love, right? The fear of police has to be kept alive. How else would we reduce the crime, right? Moreover, the infrastructure and amenities provided to the police are rudimentary at best. For a country with nearly 120 crore people, 6 lakh towns and villages, there exist only 14,000 police stations with an astounding 50 lakh crimes which are registered every day. There is no provision given by the government for sufficient manpower, machines, or facilities. In addition, there is political intervention at all stages, with the police forces as a plain tool in the hands of the notorious officials. It is the apathy of the common man and the insensitivity of the government which has led to the assertion of power and consequently abuse of the police. Recently, during the 2019 Jamia Millia Islamia attack, during the Citizenship Amendment Act protests, police attacked student protesters as well as non-protesting students at the campus of Jamia Millia Islam. On the same day, police and Rapid Action Force injured several students, including some serious injuries, by firing tear gas shells, rubber bullets, stunt grenades, and pellets at students of the Aligarh Muslim University protesting against the same act. The security forces reportedly hurled communal abuses at the students. The forces fired tear gas shells inside hostel rooms and set ablaze vehicles belonging to students. Another recent case was the custodial death of the father and son The duo had been beaten, brutally tortured, and sexually assaulted on 22nd June 2020. According to the Article 246 of the Indian Constitution, police comes under the state list of the 7th schedule, and it is beyond the jurisdiction of the respective state governments to make laws governing the police in their state. While policing regulations have clear federal structure, India is essentially a quasi-federal country, and so the central government is still active in police force control. The Indian Police Act 1861 is India's basic law regulating the police. Most states have either followed this fundamental law or have laws that are molded to it. When police are granted practical authority, the wrongs they conduct must also be kept accountable. The current governance systems need to be reinforced and enhanced. Furthermore, alternative systems need to be developed operating independently to track police activities and investigate police complaints against the police. Police success as an agency and police staff actions as individuals both need continuous supervision. The cops happen to be the government's most prominent leaders. In an hour of risk, threat, disaster, and challenge, when a resident does not know what to do and how to contact, it happens that the police department and the policemen are the most appropriate and available unit and individual to him. Police are expected to be the society's most accessible, interactive, and dynamic organization.